Israel kicked off the war against Iran by bombing a girls' elementary school, which the New York Times reports has caused 175 people, mostly little girls, to die. Now, of course, Israel is pretending like they don't know what happened. They haven't confirmed that they're the ones behind the strike. I'll give you the details and you all can decide for yourselves. Now, before I get to those details, Cenk, your 2 cents.
Yeah, I was told that the Israelis cared so much about the Iranian people. That's why they had to go liberate them. So what they did was they liberated 175 elementary school girls' lives, and they're all dead now. And here's Israel again. And now, since they've completely shredded the rules of war, they are now doing to Iran what they did to Gaza. They've already hit several hospitals. So Anna, tell them all the details, and then we'll talk about why we have to get the hell out of this war before Israel does massive damage to us.
I mean, a little too late for that, but I hear what you're saying. Currently, as we speak, the death toll in Iran, according to officials in Iran, has reached 742. Now, the first mass casualty event we heard about happened to be this particular school for girls, an elementary school for little girls. And the search for any survivors under the rubble of the Shajarah Tayyebeh school in the southern town of Minab ended yesterday, meaning we now know the full death toll, and it's 175 individuals. So half of the 2-story elementary school has been completely destroyed, and so far this has been the deadliest attack in the ongoing American-Israeli bombing campaign in Iran. Now, the head of Iran's Red Crescent said in a video posted on social media that the Minab school incident has no comparison with any other incident, even in Gaza. And what he's referring to there is the number of casualties in a single attack. And as far as I know, he's correct about that, which is really saying something considering the horrors we've seen in Gaza. He added that no other strike has killed as many children simultaneously. Now, the school is adjacent to a naval base belonging to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRCG. Now, back in 2013, the school building was part of the base. However, by September of 2016, satellite images showed that the same building had been completely walled off from the military base and was no longer connected to the base at all. So if you hear anyone from the Israeli government claim, well, I mean, the elementary school kids had it coming, it was part of a military base. Just understand the kind of propaganda you're up against here. Okay, absolute garbage talking point. But anyway, even if that school had been part of an IRCG military base, targeting it, attacking it would still be a massive war crime. Even if schools are used for military purposes, the law requires armed parties to avoid or minimize harm to civilians and civilian infrastructure, according to the International Committee of the Red Cross. But as we know, the whole notion of international law has been unilaterally dismantled by the Israelis. So with that in mind, it's worth noting that this elementary school was one of 2 schools that were attacked on Saturday. 2 students were also killed following a strike that took place on the Hedayat High School in Tehran. Now, the Times also notes that the Israeli military did not respond for requests for comment, which I think is important to keep in mind. I mean, if they wanted to deny it, that would be a good opportunity to do so. Israel and the US has been A/B testing its talking points that surrounding this whole bombing of the elementary school. Put some feelers out for, oh, maybe this was actually a false flag carried out by the Iranians. No one was buying that. So then they moved to say that the strike was really a failed IRGC missile attack. But it is worth mentioning that the first retaliatory strikes by Iran were carried out 2 hours after the school was bombed by Israel. So Geo confirmed could also said that there is no evidence that the explosion was caused by a failed IRGC missile launch, and that the more plausible explanation based on available evidence is that the school was hit during a broader strike that was taking place against the IRGC military base nearby. Now, Israeli President Isaac Herzog essentially admitted to the attack while attempting to deny it. So here's what I mean, take a look.
Do you know what happened there?
No, we don't know. And we are trying to verify it, and we don't have any facts to that effect. And we don't shy away from checking anything. But we also have to understand that part of the strategy of this jihadist movement is to base its infrastructure of terror, let's say missiles, long-range missiles, in civilian surroundings. So I don't know.
Interesting. What did you think about his statement there, Cenk?
Okay, every Israeli accusation is a confession. Mossad's headquarters is right in the middle of Tel Aviv. So when Iran sent missiles over to Mossad's headquarters, the first war in June, the Israelis were like, oh, I can't believe they might hit our civilians, just because we surrounded Mossad's headquarters with all these civilians. So that's their strategy, and they try to put it on everyone else. They're disgusting.
So Jonathan Conricus, who's now mouthpiece for the Israeli government, but previously worked as a commander for the IDF, was on Piers Morgan's show today with Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald made that same point, and guess what Conricus said? He confirmed it. Totally confirmed that that's true of Tel Aviv. That's true of what we do with our military in densely populated areas of Israel. And he even said, yeah, these are legitimate targets.
Yeah. Okay. So what's amazing about that is, so if like an insurgent group like Hamas in Gaza had a headquarters, Israel would bomb it immediately. That's why they don't have a headquarters. When Iran has different headquarters, they know that it's likely targets for Israel if there's a war, right? So like, especially for the Palestinians, they literally can't. They have no choice, because if they did a headquarters, it'd be immediately eliminated. They wouldn't even need a war for that, right? So, but Israel has all the choice in the world, and they chose to put Mossad's headquarters right in the middle of their civilians. So that's who Israel is. Anyways, now one other thing. Remember the first missile that hit a hospital in Gaza, and the Israelis went nuts? It's an errant missile, they said, just like this one. It's all the Palestinians' fault, all the dirty Muslims' fault. We would never hit a hospital. Then they hit every single hospital in Gaza.
Multiple times.
They hit the hospitals over and over and over on purpose, because they kill more civilians than any terrorist group there is as a percentage. 83% of the people they kill are civilians. Hamas is 67%. They're much worse terrorists than Hamas. They've killed at least 70 times the number of people that Hamas has innocent civilians. And our press goes, yeah, but Hamas is Muslim and Israel is beloved Israel. So they, no, you only call Muslims terrorists and jihadists. But when Israel does 70 times worse, 100 times worse, if you call them terrorists, because they're way worse than Hamas and way worse than Iran in terrorism, no, we'll call you an anti-Semite and try to eliminate you from the national conversation, so no one can speak up for Muslims, because that's how deeply bigoted our mainstream press is.
I want to talk a little bit about the symbolic nature of the day these strikes against Iran began. And this isn't according to me, this is according to reporting from CNN, because I actually can't believe they reported this, but it's important to know. So CNN reporter Tal Shalev acknowledged the following, and this is the headline of a February 28th, 2026 CNN piece. Timing of US-Israel attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism, as Netanyahu references holiday of Purim. Am I saying that correctly? Okay.
Not really, but it's okay.
How do you say it?
I'm not sure either. Purim, I
think. Purim,
yeah.
Okay, fine. So here's what Netanyahu is quoted as saying. 2,500 years ago in ancient Persia, a tyrant rose against us with the very same goal to utterly destroy our people. Netanyahu said of the story.
The Polish people?
Said of the story, which takes place in what is now Iran. Today as well, on Purim, the lot has fallen, and in the end, this evil regime will fall too. Now remember, the first Israeli strike was on a girls' elementary school in Iran, killing 175 children, mostly children. We don't know if every single one was a child, but most of them were little girls. Okay, so ahead of the upcoming Jewish holiday, worshipers read a specific portion of Deuteronomy, which of course is in the Old Testament. It commands the ancient Israelites to remember Amalek and to eradicate the memory of Amalek once the Israelites settle in their land. Amalek is often referenced as a historical enemy of the Jewish people, and Netanyahu invoked it shortly after the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel, which is why they leveled Gaza. They used this insane ideology to justify killing all those innocent civilians and leveling the Gaza Strip. So the fact that he invoked Amalek again after striking an elementary school and killing 175 people, I think is notable when you're trying to decipher who the actual terrorists are.
So look, I've said this many times. I get Israel's motivations. I get the big dumb suckers over in America with tons of cash in the military to do our dirty work for us and let them die for us. Let them spend their money instead of us. I get it. And by the way, I think that a lot of foreign governments would do that if they could do that. So I don't think that Israel's necessarily uniquely evil, right? They've just figured out a better way to capture our government. So the people that I'm most angry at are disgusting, cravenly politicians.
Yep.
Who go, oh, money? Oh, I'd love to serve you. Give me campaign contributions and I'll betray all my voters. I'll make them go to war. I'll have their sons die. I'll do anything Israel commands of me. 94% of Congress gets legalized bribes from the Israeli lobby. But this second group that I'm furious at, and you see it all the time on the show, is the national media. So those guys tell us no, 94% of Congress doesn't mean they bought Congress. In fact, we're never gonna tell our audience that. We're gonna say like, oh, we have a special ally. We're not gonna tell them the #1 donor to Trump and Biden were Israel. #1 donor to Mike Johnson and Hakeem Jeffries is Israel. 94% of Congress is Israel. We're not gonna tell them that the Israelis, now when a Palestinian or anyone who's friendly to the Palestinians supports them says from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, that's it, Palestine will be free. They say, oh, monster terrorists. Netanyahu literally said Israel is going to have from the river to the sea. He didn't talk about Israelis being free. He talked about taking all of that land. The charge they actually make against Palestinians, even though that's not the saying for the Palestinians, is Palestinians will be free. So, okay, so then you would imagine, because we had congressional hearings and giant national media outrage over that chant, that they would have gone nuts over Netanyahu. Never mention it. Now, this is the second reference to Amalek, which is kill men, women, children, animals, kill them all. I mean, if a Palestinian had said that, or any Muslim had said that, they'd be like, you genocidal, anti-Semitic, put them in prison, right? Congressional hearings. The leader of Israel, who's actually killing men, women, and children by the tens of thousands. And immediately in the Iran war goes, bomb the hospitals, bomb the elementary schools. Hey, it's not like he didn't say he was gonna do it. He said he was gonna do it.
Exactly.
But our media, our lying, disgusting media, won't ever tell you that. You can look it up. These are verified quotes, but our media covers up. Their job isn't to cover the news, it's to cover up the news. So I asked CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, MS Now or later, Fox News, why are you all covering up the news on behalf of a foreign country? It is super weird, super weird. And you're basically declaring, no, we don't care about the American people. We're gonna lie to you on behalf of the Israelis. We're gonna pretend that the Muslims are the aggressors, even though Israel has taken more and more land. We have eyes, we can see the map. They continually expand their territory, continually are deeply bigoted against Muslims, drive bigotry in this country against Muslims. So we attack their neighbors. They constantly murder civilians at grotesque rates. And our media goes, no, they're the victim. Nah, that's it. No. There's gonna be a head-on collision here because the establishment isn't going to move an inch. They're gonna be pro-Israel 200% until the very last minute. And the American people are getting angrier and angrier. Now, 3/4 of us said, don't go to Iran. Do not bomb them. And
we did it anyway.
And we did it anyway. We now the polls have switched. They're both Democrats, Republicans, Independents. They're all saying stop funding Israel, right? Nope. Shut up, Americans. If you don't submit to Israel, you're all anti-Semites. That's what our goddamn media says every day, and our scum politician.
Yeah.
So, American people, the establishment, boom, head-on collision. I don't know what's gonna happen. And you know what? When it happens, whose fault it is? It is 100% the establishment's fault. Because no matter how many times the American people overwhelmingly said, we don't want to serve Israel anymore. We don't want our kids dying for Israel. We don't want to spend trillions of dollars for Israel. The establishment said, shut up and serve Israel. Well, you're gonna have a collision. I don't know what form that takes. I don't want it. I hate the idea of it, but they're gonna create a giant mess in this country because they just will not serve Americans ever. They demand loyalty to a foreign government and we're never gonna give it.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.